You?
Oh my.
And you see who's standing beside me.
Somebody got your rings on you.
Pull a chain, pull a chain.
They gonna say.
Jesus said that. What did Jesus say, man?
Jesus said, suffer the little children come unto me.
You know what? See,
That's not what we're here for. We are here because this is our mother and father.
Memories.
Now, I didn't do that with you.
Ooh, all right.
I was nice.
You were?
Be nice.
I'm being
Okay,
nice.
you have your list?
I was just mean to Joyce, right?
I was together.
Yeah.
Don't you remember she sent you that email?
Okay.
Y'all came out together.
Janet, the two of us up here because we're the firstborn. And the only reason Janet was born first is because I pushed her out of my way. Okay?
No, the doctor got me first.
Well, I guided his hand.
Okay.
Okay. The 12 things that I received from my parents. And I don't have any particular order because I just wrote down some things. And then I was going to try to rank them in 1 to 12 or 12 to 1. And I couldn't get it ranked. So the first thing I put down was love. They love, Mom and Daddy love us unconditionally. Even when I mess up, even when we mess up, they love us in spite of. And they taught us how to be loving. The other thing I learned was patience. I'm the twin that I want to get it done. And I gotta go. Because I heard my daddy say, gotta go. And I remember when I was in Greensboro, and I forgot what it was that I wanted, and I was talking to Mama about it. And I'm like, well, Mama, I did this, and it's not falling in place. And Mama said, Janice, this is what she said, very simply. Janice, you've got to crawl before you can walk. And I shut up. I shut up. Patience. From my parents, I learned the joy of laughter. Daddy always told me he was going to take me to Bear Grass. And in my mind, Bear Grass was a place that had tall grass and bears roaming through the grass. I didn't want to go to Bear Grass. He told us he was going to take us to Pactolas. I never thought those places, yeah, Daddy. And then Daddy took us to Bear Grass, North Carolina. And it was not a place with tall grass and bears running through it. And he took us to Pactolas. They taught us it's okay to fall down, but get back up. Don't lay there. From our parents, we had teaching and instruction. I expect you. So and so and so. I expect you. And when Janet and I were taking that long drive to Greensboro to A&T, because when I graduated from Fairmont High School, I was excited. I'm getting out of Fairmont. And the night before we were to leave, Joyce came in and she laid on my bed and she said, I'm moving over here.
You get the boot.
And then it dawned on me that when we got in the car, and as we drove away from the house, I was looking at 501 Jackson Street, and I said, when I come back here, things won't be the same. And there were tears in my eyes. On the way to Greensboro, Daddy decided that there were some things that he needed to tell us, lessons that he needed to teach us that he hadn't gotten in. And passing Maxim when he said the first thing. He had every few miles he had a nugget. One,
Goat man's house.
one was, y'all were raised, act like it.
All right now.
In other words, don't leave home and be in Greensboro and become something that we were not. He every few miles, whenever it came to him, you remember that, Janet? He'd say something. The other thing that he said that stuck with me was, I have no bail money. So when we got to college and we had our friends and let's go do this and go do that, the thing that popped in my mind was, I have no bail money. That's okay, y'all go ahead. I'll catch up with you a little later. They taught us self-worth and self-esteem. Daddy said, praise what you got. And his famous words were, let's say it together, you ain't never seen
An
ugly
ugly
nickel.
nickel.
You ain't never seen an ugly nickel. Save your money. Don't spend all you make. My, sophomore year, I believe, I applied for this work study program, and I got a job working for the town of Fairmont. And it said that you were expected to save a certain percentage of your salary for your tuition and expenses in the next semester. Well, I'm sitting up here. I had all these plans made. Since I live at home, I was expected to save 80%. Okay, so I had plans for the other 20%. Wrong. Dorothy stopped that one. So instead of saving 80%, I saved about 95%. The other thing was faith and God. Love Him, put Him first. And without my faith and the prayers, because in January of 3 years ago, you know my story, faith and God, loving Him and putting Him first. Keep your word. Keep your word. If you don't mean it, don't say it. But keep your word. And the other one about saving your money, don't spend all you make, to go along with that was work. I saw my mother and father go to work. I saw my daddy come home from off the ship. My daddy went back to that ship until he retired from the Navy. And then he was home for a few weeks. And he went out and he got him a job. Because he wasn't satisfied with his retirement pay. He went out and got a job. And the first day of work, my daddy went to work for Fairmont Knitting Mills. He walked to work. I saw him walk to work. So work. Be steadfast, unmovable. And finally, be steadfast, unmovable. I saw the reality of that when I was in Pender County and I got a telephone call from Miss Bibby that said, Judy called, upset, and Joyce knows, she told me to call you. They're taking your mother to Duke. And I got off the phone and I walked out in the hall and I told my principal, I got to go. They're taking my mama to Duke. And one of the teacher assistants heard, and she grabbed me by the arm and said, before you go anywhere, she pulled me into a room and we prayed. And within 3 minutes, I was out the building, keys in my hand in the car. And Joyce and I hurriedly got ourselves together and we drove to Durham. And when we got up to the room, I remember just looking, looking. Just cause I didn't know, I expected to find my mother laying there, eyes closed, all kinds of machines hooked up to her. And when I looked around the corner looking, I looked right into my mama's eyes and she looked right at me. And I'm like, okay, be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding. And finally, life is not easy. Endure. Stick it out. And that's what I learned. That's what we learned.
Okay, out of all of what my brothers and sisters said, there's one thing that they left out. That Daddy said, don't count your chickens before they hatch.
That's right.